The Northern Territory is promising additional resources for the coming months for Alice Springs as it had its first night without a curfew. While children can now be in the CBD of a night, there was still a highly visible police and social worker presence throughout the town. Miles Holbrook-Walk joins us from Alice Springs. G'day Miles, so how did people find their first night out of curfew?
Well, overall, Casey, what we're hearing was a quiet night here in the Alice Springs CBD. And while there was no curfew, there were some young people who did come out throughout town, and some of them were riding their bikes around town, just having a bit of fun in the evening on a cool Alice Springs evening. But there wasn't any crime reported by police as yet. We haven't received any alerts, and indeed no reports from the Southern Watch Commander this morning about offending in the CBD or elsewhere throughout Alice Springs overnight. Now, the proof of the pudding obviously will be in the long-term run of what has happened in the weeks and days after. The ABC did speak to a range of people who were in the CBD last night, and here's what they had to say.
I've been going out to the pubs past couple of weeks, and it's just been good just coming out and not have to worry about your car.
It is been a lot quieter, but at the same time, I think it's only a temporary measure. Obviously it can't go on forever.
Not safe anymore. They'll be unsafe now.
So, Miles, the NT government's talking about more resources for the town. Do we know what that looks like?
Casey, to a degree we do. It's going to mean more police until at least the end of June. About 25 police officers from across the Northern Territory staying within the town to fulfil a range of roles, whether that's from ensuring the responsible sale of alcohol to also ensuring that there's a visible patrol presence throughout the CBD. We also know there'll be social workers right on the ground here until 3 a.m. until at least the end of June. Now, interestingly, Territory Families has flagged to the ABC in an interview that may extend beyond the end of June when they're pegged to scale it back. Here's Brendan Boyce, the Southern Region Leader for Territory Families.
At least the next few months, but of course we now need to make sure that we're looking at what Alice Springs is like over the post-curfew period, which will inform our longer-term planning around how to best use the resources that we have and the people we have on the ground.
So that's Brendan Boyce from Territory Families, who provide publicly funded social workers. There's also nighttime patrols by local Aboriginal corporations Laratipa and Tungunjira as well, both doing separate patrols themselves to create that highly visible presence, but also to engage young people and ideally, in their eyes, before any offending takes place, and to ensure there's a safe place to go home for them if they want to go home. Now, the other thing on that is that we've also seen a local push now from both the Mayor of Alice Springs, Matt Patterson, as well as some frontline housing organisations saying they'd really like to see a hostel or hub, as it's known, built for young people where they can stay for, instead of just staying overnight in crisis accommodation, but could stay for up to 2 years if they want to while they try to find their feet. We do know here in Alice Springs we have some of the highest rates of youth homelessness in the country, Casey. So it's not just on the space of frontline services like police or social workers, but also infrastructure that people are now looking to see fully funded by both the Northern Territory and as well federal governments.